Desert night drive. You know, there's something about the moon that can turn an endless highway into a scene from a horror movie. It was just me, my car, and the crunch of gravel echoing off cliffs I couldn't see. I tell you, even with the heat still clinging to the night air, I felt this chill running down my spine. And it wasn't because I was in the middle of nowhere. My GPS had given up on me hours ago, just static where there should have been directions. The old map I'd dug out from my glove box might as well have been in hieroglyphs for all the good it did me. So yeah, I was lost, not your everyday kind of lost, but really, really lost. I should have listened to those locals who warned against taking this shortcut. But who wouldn't want to cut a few hours off a cross-country trip? Now though, all I could think about was how much of a mistake that had been. The view hadn't changed for miles. Scrub brush, sand dunes, and dead Joshua trees as far as the eye could see. Even cranking up the AC didn't help with the heat inside my car. My eyes kept scanning for anything that suggested life. Then there was this flicker in the distance. So brief it could have been my imagination playing tricks on me due to fatigue, or maybe even moonlight messing with my vision. But then it happened again. No mistaking it this time. There was someone standing by the side of the road, tall and thin like one of those desert rocks shaped by wind and time into something almost human-looking. Suddenly I wasn't alone out here. I thought about hitting the gas pedal instead, but then remembered those stories about drifters in these parts. Still, driving further into God knows where seemed worse than stopping for some stranger. So with a sigh that sounded too loud in the silence, I pulled over. As I got closer, I could smell something foul, like spoiled meat with a hint of something else, something old and wrong. My hand automatically went for the pepper spray in my pocket. I exited my car to stretch my legs and breathe a bit of night air to clear my head. "Can I help you?" was all I managed to get out before my voice gave up on me. The figure turned toward me then, moonlight glinting off what looked like a skull beneath its hood. But as it stepped into the light, I saw it was more than that. Skin stretched tight over bones and eyes that didn't seem alive at all. Before I could react, this thing lunged at me. We struggled, my pepper spray slipping from my grip in the chaos. Then suddenly it stopped, like it heard something only it could hear. That's when this low rumble started up and the ground started shaking under us. And then out of nowhere came this creature straight from your worst nightmare. A centipede, but bigger than anything you can imagine, slithered out of the darkness with glowing red eyes that seemed to lock onto me for a moment that felt way too long. The figure bowed to this monstrosity before letting out a scream that shattered the night's silence. Then, just like that, it turned around and disappeared back into the darkness where it came from. I stood there frozen as this thing in front of me gave me what looked like a smile, stretching across its skeletal face, showing off teeth sharp as needles. "Welcome," it said in a voice that sounded like sandpaper scraping against metal. "Welcome to the hunting grounds." And let me tell you, no feeling compares to the kind of fear that hit me then. Pure instinct had me running back to my car faster than I'd ever moved before. The car door was as stubborn as a mule, refusing to let me in. My fingers slipped on the ice-cold handle, slick with the cold sweat of pure terror. The thing tilted its skull-like head again, and I swear I saw amusement in its hollow sockets. A scream ripped out of me as I lunged for the passenger door, my only shot at safety. It opened and I tumbled inside like a ragdoll, slamming it shut behind me. In panic mode, my fingers fumbled for the keys. The engine rumbled beneath me like an impatient beast ready to bolt. "Wait!" A voice rasped through the growl of anticipation from under the hood, but there was no way I was waiting around. I jammed the car into gear, stomping down on the accelerator. For a moment, my tires spun aimlessly before they found purchase on the gravel. I didn't dare look back. Those images, skeletal fiend and monstrous insect, were burned into my brain already. Each bump in the road, every weird light in the rearview mirror sent fresh waves of dread washing over me. The highway turned into a streaky blur as I pushed my car to its limits. Its engine cried out against such abuse. Yet despite this mad dash for escape, there seemed to be nothing but desert stretching out ahead, an endless wasteland designed by some twisted god. Just when hope was about to jump ship completely, salvation appeared. A gas station. Hope bloomed within me, weak but real nonetheless. Maybe there was still a chance for rescue, or at least escape from this nightmare of a place. My brakes screamed their complaints as I slid to a halt before this beacon of potential refuge. It looked old and desolate, windows boarded up and paint peeling away. Yet it seemed promising amidst all that desert desolation. Jumping out of the car, adrenaline overpowered any hunger I felt. The gas station door creaked open, revealing nothing but darkness inside. I reached for my phone, but it was dead, naturally. I'd left my pepper spray behind, not exactly a weapon to fight off nightmare creatures, but it would have been better than having nothing. Stepping into the gloom was like walking into a wall of stench decay, and something sulfurous hit me hard. My eyes strained to make sense of the shifting shapes. A rustle from behind sent my heart racing. I crouched low and moved forward. Then I saw it, a figure wrapped in rags huddled in the corner. Relief washed over me momentarily, maybe another survivor. "Hello?" My voice echoed back at me, bouncing off empty shelves and dusty walls. The figure stirred slowly, raising its head to reveal a face bathed in moonlight, thin and pale but undoubtedly human. My relief didn't last long, though. His eyes were devoid of any spark of life, reflecting instead the desolate landscape outside. His voice was raspy as he spoke, sending chills down my spine. "Welcome," he croaked out. "Welcome to Purgatory." Suddenly the ground shook beneath me. A distant rumble echoed ominously across the barren lands. It hit me then that this desert wasn't just preying on lost souls, it was herding them, leading them to some grotesque feast where I was now set to be the star attraction. With a scream that shattered the silence, I turned tail and ran deeper into the shadows within this forsaken refuge. Maybe there would be no escape after all, but I refused to go willingly into whatever horror awaited outside. The rumbling grew louder and closer. Escape seemed like a pipe dream now, but one thing was clear. The desert held dark secrets buried beneath its sands, waiting for the next unlucky soul who dared to venture off the beaten path. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.